Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about Keep It Simple Neti Pot 101. Now, I know this is an important topic for many people. Taking care of your sinuses is a huge part of health for those of you who have allergies, those of you who deal with sinus infections, polyps, folks like myself who have asthma, who want to make sure their lungs don't end up taking in extra stuff from the sinuses. Whether it's spring, winter, or any other time of year, most of us find that our sinuses will start to feel a little bit nasty from whatever's going on in the weather or the environment. Neti Pot is a great way to keep that stuff healthy. Today, Neti Pot 101, I'm just going to be showing you the simple items needed. I've had such great reviews on the Neti Pot video I did before. This is going to be our standard now to tell you what to get, what to use, how to do it, and then I'll do a separate video on how to use your Neti Pot when you travel, which is one of the most important times for using it. Now, a Neti Pot actually looks like this. It's actually a little pot. This one made out of plastic, super cool. It's actually from one of the local drugstores, and you can buy this as a part of a kit. If you've never done a Neti Pot before and you're not sure quite how to get started, you just buy it all as a set. It's going to have a little spoon to help you measure out the amount of ingredients that you need. It's going to have a pre-measured salt packet. You just mix it with water and you're good to go. I'm going to show you the items that would come in that packet. I've assembled my own kit at home. There are only really 4 items that you need for any kind of Neti Pot, and it may be even less than that depending on how you feel. 1, obviously, the pot. 2, water, and then the components that will go in the water are 1 or both of these items. The first is non-iodized salt. You can't use iodine in the tissues of the sinuses, so make sure that you get the non-iodized. This is $1. Don't be buying yourself some fancy schmancy salt unless you really want to pay $5 for sea salt that's from the Himalayas or whatever. Just buy yourself some $1.50 salt from the grocery store. Make sure it says does not supply iodine. And then the other item is baking soda, which you probably already have in your cabinet. This one you can just use a teaspoon or half teaspoon now and then. You don't even have to buy a new box unless you happen to be out. Here's how you mix up a Neti Pot. You're going to take your little pot and you're going to find yourself a little measuring spoon. Now, what I like to do is use my regular measuring spoon from my kitchen. So I've got a half teaspoon measuring spoon here. And for the amount of water that I use, that's the amount of salt I'm going to use. 1/2 teaspoon. Now, I like to put my salt and my baking soda together in little jars so that I can keep in the bathroom. So this one has the salt in it, and I'm just going to take a half teaspoon here and put that right into my Neti Pot. Now, the other item, baking soda, is really only needed if you feel like you have an overgrowth of mucus in the sinuses. This stuff really cuts through. The salt is the item that's going to keep it from burning the heck out of you. Because your body is saline naturally in its mucous membranes, you want to copy that with a little bit of the salt. That's why we use that so it doesn't burn. But this guy is actually a cleansing agent. I don't use baking soda every time. I only use it when I'm going through a period of maybe I feel like a sinus infection coming on. There's, again, more gunk up there than normal. And I'm going to use half again as much. So if I used a rounded half teaspoon for the salt, I'm going to use half of that, so actually a 1/4 teaspoon, just a little tiny bit in here, and I'm going to put that in my Neti Pot. Now I'm going to fill this with body temperature water. So in just a second we're going to get over the sink together. I'm going to actually do this with you, and you're going to see it's not going to kill you. You're not going to drown. There's a simple technique that I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so here we are now, guys. We're back at the sink, and I'm way down here low with you because in just a second I'm going to be pouring water through my nose. I'm going to actually let you watch. It's kind of weird to watch the first time, but I'm going to show you how it works. I want body temperature water, so bear with me here. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm getting body temperature water. I'm going to pour it into here, and I'm going to fill this little pot up all the way, okay? Oh, it's starting to pour out. Went a little too far. Oops. Okay, so then I want to stir it. So I take my little spoon and I'm going to stir this stuff up because I'm going to plug the end so it doesn't swish out all over my thing. I'm going to tell you straight up, the reason I'm doing so bad with this is because this is not my Neti Pot. It's actually my husband's. I washed it first. But I use something else, and you can see my personal setup in Neti Pot for travel. It doesn't look like this at all. But I'm going to do this because that's how much I love you. I'm going to do 2 Neti Pots today. Okay, so I mix this all up. So the baking soda is in here and the salt is in here. Hopefully I got the proportions right, because if it's wrong, it's gonna burn like crap. So there's that. Okay, so now I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna kind of lean over the sink. Here's the trick. Don't freak out, you're not gonna drown. What happens is people think that they put something up their nose and it's gonna go in their lungs. Come on, we're not two. Your body is versed at how to shut off the lungs from moisture. But here's the easiest trick if you wanna be a co-partner in your own lung comfort. You just breathe in before you start and you exhale as you pour, okay? Really easy. So here we go. I'm gonna take a deep breath in, and exhale is gonna pour in one side and out the other. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, oh, it's so messy. Oh my God. Oh, I breathe it out. Now, I've kind of done this before, so I'm talking to you. How weird is that? See it's coming out of the side of my nose? It's going in one side and out the other. Ah! And I'm gonna just kind of blow out that last bit of water, wash off my hands, and get a Kleenex. Okay, so what happened is I went in through the side that I felt like was clearest. So if I had like a little bit of a blockage in my sinuses on this side, I don't want to shove that back into the middle of my sinuses. So I pour in the other side to push that blockage out, right? And now I'm going to wait a little bit. I don't actually want to go doing the other side too fast. Let me turn this a little so I can see a little better. I don't want to do the other side too fast, because if you're like most people, you've got stuff up there that's been in there for a while and it needs to soften. I do a neti pot every night. Yes, I do. Because if I can do that every night, no matter what germs I've contacted that day, no matter how many nasty, creepy, sick people have been coughing and sneezing around me, I can wash it out within 24 hours. If I wait a week, that stuff just sits in there and just kind of takes root, and now I'm screwed. So every single night when I wash my face, I do this, and I'm not kidding you. I haven't had a sinus infection for years. I do get head colds, but almost every time I feel one coming on, if I start to do a neti pot, I can fight it off almost every time. It's an amazing thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and blow. Do, 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 do. Okay, so I clear that stuff out. And if I were alone, yeah, I'd be blowing like an elephant. I mean, that was a pretty girl blow, but you wanna like really go for it, get that crap out of there. Okay, now I'm gonna do it again. Here we go, you ready? I'm going to take my salt. Here's my teaspoon. I'm gonna take my baking soda. Here's my half again as much. So I did a half teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. Rinse that spoon off. Get the nice body temperature water, put it in there. I'm gonna block the hole again, make it a mess. This is like mad scientist. Notice I'm way down by the sink, right, too? My husband is 6'2", and he just kneels on the rug in front of the sink and does it. I usually stand up and bend over, but this is easier, you can see everything. Okay, so I'm stirring, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna do the other side. So again, I'm gonna just hang, I'm gonna let this stuff in my nose soften. The water is helping it to detach from the walls of the sinuses so that it can be blown out. That's the whole point. Let me just tell you, if you think it's gross to do a neti pot, it's way grosser not to do one. All this stuff that's up in there, really, if it's extra, if it's got bacteria and stuff, which likely happens a couple times a year, at least for most of us, that stuff needs to get out of there. When you're done, you want to wash off your neti pot. So I'm just going to use my antibacterial hand soap here, and I'm just going to wash it right here like this. You can also use a handy wipe, that works too, but I want to do the part I touched with my hands in case they had any germs on them, and I always want to do the end where it touched my nose. And then I just rinse it off. Just rinse it off, and then you just tip it upside down on a paper towel, and it's good to go. It's waiting for you next time. Super easy. So remember, again, very simple tools. Get yourself a little neti pot. It can be cool, simple like this, or it can be fancy, made out of agate. I don't care what kind you get. In neti pot for travel, I'll show you mine, which is totally different. You need the non-iodized salt, you need the baking soda, a little bit of water, you're good to go. Thanks for joining me for Neti Pot 101. Check out my video, Neti Pot for Travel, which is really important. If you travel, even once a year, great to take your neti pot with you, and I'll show you an easy way to do it. Subscribe to my channel, share with a friend, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.